Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the client onboarding system or workflow inside of n8n. This workflow can be used for a number of different niches, but today we'll be looking at it through the eyes of a coaching business. So before we get started, as per usual, we'll take a look at all the resources or accounts and services we'll be using, and then we'll see how the workflow works and, the different settings inside of the nodes. All right, so let's get started. First, you'll need your OpenAI API key. To do that, you'll need to go to platform.openai.com. And then up here, at the top right corner, you have a login option. You can log in with the same account as you have for your regular GPT usage. Once you're in here, you need to go to the dashboard. And inside of dashboard, you need to go to your API keys and then here create a new secret key. Give it a name. You can choose a project if you have a specific project, create it inside of here, and then create secret key. Now make sure to copy this key somewhere safe because you won't be able to see it again. And if you lose it, you'll need to create a new one. So after you click done, you can see it again. I'm just going to delete it now because I don't need it anymore. And you'll also need to add a credit card here and, put some credits into your OpenAI API account. So next thing on the list that you'll need is some sort of a database. So I'm just going to be using my Airtable database from previous videos. Um, the only thing that is different is that I add a time zone, client portal, and renewal date fields here. I'll delete these 3 rows here now because this is from the previous test I did. We'll see how it gets filled in a second. And I also added a client's view here, which gets filled with when people actually onboard or are done with onboarding. So you have essentially prospects list and clients list, and then you have clients list in here. That's how I have it right now. So in order to connect Airtable with n8n, you will need your access token. To get that, you'll need to go to your account here, top right corner, click Builder Hub, and once you click on that, this page will open. Go to Personal Access Tokens here, create new token, give it a name, and then under scopes, I usually just like to add all of the scopes in here. Access, you can give it access now to different bases, so you can add a specific base here, or you could add all resources, and it will have access to all your current and future tables. So yeah, then you create a token, and then you need to make sure to copy it somewhere safe, because again, if you lose it, you won't be able to access it again. All right, so once you have that, the only thing left is to create your onboarding experience. So I'm using Notion for this. And the way I have it set up here, we have a client database now. Then we have client portals page. And then we have client portal itself. And then one more thing here is just a resource page where, you would have all resources for your clients. So before we get started, I'm just going to delete this record now, and we'll create a new one once we complete the flow. Okay, so this is essentially it. You'll also need Gmail, but I assume everyone has Gmail already. So this is just a tutorial. So I have webhooks here instead of actual like Stripe payments and real onboarding forms. The entire flow is in test mode right now. That means that every single time before I submit a form to trigger this webhook, I need to click test workflow here. Then we go to our payment gateway simulation here. So here I'm just going to put in the email, the name, and just the random numbers for the card. All right, and click process. And as you can see, the payment was successful. Now if we go into our workflow here, we can see the workflow completed successfully. So we sent the client the email for successful payment as well as an onboarding form link. So this is how the email looks. First to have their name in the subject line, and then it's just a basic email. Then here we have instructions for what's next. And that's basically it. So this link does not work because I have a preview version of this form only. If I would have this as live, I could also add link inside of this button now. So this button doesn't do anything at this moment. All right, but once the client clicks on this, he will get taken to this coaching onboarding form. So before I fill this out, I'm going to once again click on test workflow for this bottom flow. And now I'm going to fill it out. So again, I'm just going to do Alex Jameson. Now I added a time zone here option as well, because, if you have international clients, it's going to be nice to know what their time zone is and to coordinate your meets accordingly. Okay, email, I'm going to leave this pre-work empty. And then favorite color, this is going to be used to customize the client's portal page. So it's going to give them like, a nice personalized vibe, if you will. I'm just gonna choose a random color. So I don't know, let's go with this purple. And now I'm gonna click submit. And as you can see, this is now working. I'm just going to go back into Notion real quick, go to clients portals, and then I'm going to delete the old one. I'm just going to delete this page. All right. So now this is working. So first of all, we have OpenAI node here that just transforms hex code into a color, like the word. And we have lavender purple, which makes sense for the color we inputted. Then we have a purple image generator here with DALL-E 3. This is just a basic prompt. And then Notion is a bit tricky, not the best right now with the APIs, inside n8n at least. So it looks like a lot more complex than it actually is. So essentially, Notion doesn't allow you to duplicate pages now. So you can have like a portal page template that you just duplicate and, change names and such. You need to create it from scratch. So this flow essentially creates every single segment of the client portal. So first we create a page itself with this, and we add a URL from the image we got from a OpenAI node. And then we set the name. Next thing we add session notes, page, link to page. Then we create a homework, and then we create recording page here. So if we look at this, first of all, you can see is lavender purple profile picture, which, is nice. And then we can see all the resources we have in here. So first we have session notes, homework, recordings, and then resources. All right, so for the resources, it's a bit different. Instead of creating a new page, we need to put a link to page in here. So these are all pages, and this is a link to page. Why do we need that? Well, because resources, it's going to be the same page for every single user, while recordings, homework, and session notes will be for like separate for or like different for every single client you have. That's why we need to create a link to page. But if we look at inside of n8n here, we see that resources got created with the HTTP request because n8n doesn't support a link to page option just yet. So to do that, we have this set up with the body in here. Of course, like every single tutorial, you'll have the entire workflow available to download by clicking the link in the description or in the first comment for completely free. All right, so then we add a spacer. This is just a spacer in between here. This is just a paragraph with a space. And then here we have a quote. So no, n8n doesn't support quote creation just yet as well. That's why we created another HTTP request with this body. All right, and then we create a database page. So this is essentially just a database record. If we go into our client's database here, as you can see, it got created with all the information here, as well as the renewal date and everything that we need. And then because I want to have all the information from our clients and, prospects in one place, I also updated everything inside of the Airtable. So first we need to search for the Airtable record with this email. And then once we have that ID, we can update the fields as such. And then at the end here, we send email to our client that, their client portal is ready to go. And then they click on the link. So let me just first show you the Airtable database here now under the client's view. You can see we got a new record here. with the information. And now if you click on this client portal, you'll be taken to their client portal page, as you can see. And now let's see the email. Again, we have their name in subject line. And then in here, we have book your first session. So they can book their first session. Obviously, I'm using Tidycal. You can be using Calendly or whatever other booking software you're using. Down here, I added a video, field. So you can put a client portal walkthrough for clients so they know where everything will be. And then finally, access to their uh, portal. You can see it works fine. And then here I also added installation tutorial for Notion for all the devices. All right, guys. So this is it for today's tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or any suggestions on what I should do next, let me know down in the comment section below as well. And yeah, until next time, guys. See ya. Bye bye.